that I've been telling for quite some time. It's based on a true event, which is often another characteristics of good signature stories. I went rock climbing once in Joshua Tree National Park. It's in California. Have you been?
I used to live on it.
Oh yeah, sure. So, they say that this is a really good place for first-timers to go because the rock has a certain texture. It's not particularly slick. It's very porous and it's easy to grab onto, or easier than some rocks, I suppose. And it was the very first time I ever went climbing, and it was not a good experience. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not sure I'll ever go back to climbing a rock again. We only are climbing a 100-foot face. It's not very high, but if you fall from 100 feet, your head will crack like an eggshell. So we want to climb safely, and so we were using a system called the belay system. Now the belay is just if you can think of it as a giant pulley. I'm in a harness, right? And the pulley, my rope goes up to the top, and the rope at the top is tied off to a BFR. It's the kind of rock that the rope is tied to. It's a big rock. BFR. And so it's tied to the BFR, and then the other part of the rope comes down, and my buddy Steve is holding the rope. So I'm on a giant pulley, if you will. So if I should slip, which is likely since this is my first time, if I should slip, I won't plummet to my death. I'll merely dangle against the side of the rock face until I lose consciousness. So I'm safe. The idea of the belay system. Anyway, I somehow get up to the top of this 100-foot thing, and I am thrashed, man. I don't have any strength left. My heart rate is like coming through my chest. I'm exhausted. My hand hurts in places I didn't know I had muscles. This has been the most arduous, difficult thing I've ever done in my life. And now I have to go down. And climbing down I've done some reading on mountain climbing. That's when most people get hurt. When you're climbing up, you can at least see where you're going. When you're climbing down, you're kind of like, trying to feel your way around. So this is not good. My buddy Steve or my other buddy's at the top. He's holding, he's guiding me down. And I said, listen, I've really enjoyed this experience. I said, but I've had enough. And I said, if you just take me out of the harness, I'll walk down, or I'll go down another way. And he laughed, just like you are. He said, what are you thinking? There is no other way down. You got to go down the same way you came up, clown. I said, I can't. He says, what do you think, there's an escalator? I said, I can't do it. I can't get down. And here's what you need to know about the belay system. In order to get down, you have to do something called rappel. And to rappel, do you remember Batman, the old Batman show, where Batman would use the bat rope and he would climb up the side of the mountain by putting his leg up, right, and kind of hoisting himself? That's called rappelling. Now, in order to start rappelling, this is a key, you have to rock back into space, not knowing if the rope will hold you.
But you got a BFR.
Right, but I'm tied off to the BFR, so I'm safe, right? But my head won't get around this, right? I can't get comfortable leaning back into space so I can put my legs up. And I am terrified, and this is what I want you to write down. In the speaking business, you have to be comfortable not knowing what's going to happen. Just like I was on that rock face. Be comfortable not knowing what's going to happen.